Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VLE Challengers Cup 2. Today we're setting it off with elimination matches in Group C and Group D. And the first matchup actually starts tonight with ILH versus OPRITIVZ. And then later on we have EXL Alter Ego taking on Equinox Esports at 9 p.m. EST. So joining me on the cast for the first matchup tonight is going to be Nick. How you doing today, man?
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Robbie?
Pretty good, man. I mean, I'm really excited for this matchup because you and I are very familiar to both of these teams. I mean, Cup 1, both of these teams were in the same position, elimination position. I mean, it was LCQ. I remember it like it was yesterday, and that's what we have going on today. Any predictions for this one?
I believe this match might actually be on the closer side. I mean, like we said last stream as well, this is a match. There are two teams that have faced each other before. And there is some sort of rivalry going on here.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely curious to see how this match goes.
Yeah, same here. I love to see the rivalries, honestly, because, I mean, these teams have history together. And the thing is, I want to start digging deeper about these teams because we've only seen them once so far in this tournament. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about their history. Now, ILH, this team has been a bit of an anomaly for me, Nick. I see a player like Walmart Bag, who goes by Cardi Stand now, take the server by storm in Cup 1, showing some of the best mechanical performances we've seen in this tournament to date. And then I see, the structure around him, and the math just isn't mathing sometimes, This roster has quite the skill disparity when it comes to mechanics and overall game sense, and I could never quite wrap my head around it. Nonetheless, I think they earned a bottom bracket playoff spot in Cup 1 after taking down Spectrum in the LCQ, but that's the only team that ILH beat by a convincing margin in Cup 1, and then they took down Revamp shortly after in the playoffs, which was really close. And I know we talk about Cup 1 a lot, but here in Cup 2, we only have one series to go off of, and that didn't look quite good either for this team. If I had to bet, I'd say my money's on OPRITIVZ in this series, but what do you think of ILH's chances here?
I do think they definitely had a chance. Last season, they definitely showed us that they have the potential to be a really good team. We had both Jadako and Walmart having consistently at least decent games with a few exceptions. And of course, at the beginning, we had Walmart almost outstanding performance, which was completely unexpected and got all of us off guard. So I do definitely believe that with the right amount of practice, or I should say enough practice, they definitely have a very good chance. Though that's something that we'll see as the game goes.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, as the game goes indeed, because we've seen so many things this tournament so far, Nick, that we just didn't know what to expect, and I definitely think this series will show us a bit of that. Now, we talked about ILH. I want to go on the side of OPRITIVZ a little bit here right before we hop into the matchup. We saw major improvement from this team in Cup 1 in OPRITIVZ. I mean, ultimately starting off the group stages with no wins. They were 0-4 in the group stage, and their series record was a minus 68 round differential, and then they found themselves in LCQ and beat both their opponents to squeeze their way into the playoffs bottom bracket. Now, unfortunately, they ended up having to forfeit their only playoff series due to a few players having to cancel last minute, but they earned that spot after taking down their opponents in LCQ, and one of those were ILH, who is their opponent tonight. Now, the scoreline on that map was 13-6 in favor of OPRITIVZ on Bind, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Now, although these teams are not fully the same as Cup 1, the rosters are pretty similar to what we saw before. Do you think OPRITIVZ paint that narrative of improvement they showed in Cup 1 this time around?
I sure hope they do. They definitely showed the will to actually sit down and practice, and they actually showed really big improvements during the first season than just a few weeks. Now this is months after, so if they continue as they did, I am definitely expecting to see a much better team compared to what they were last summer. But yeah, I have high hopes for them, and I believe that with enough practice, we're going to see a very good game coming from them.
Absolutely. Well said, my friend. Now, folks, we don't want to keep you waiting for too long, so we're going to go ahead and get today started. This is VLE Challengers, Cup 2, Day 8. a challenger, you must always be in flow state. And to become a champion, you must ascend. Travel the road from challenger to champion. Go beyond your comfort zone or fall. Over here towards mid. From the shadows came through, but right now Hoopa with such nice shots into the round of fourth. Going through U-Haul, caught by the Cypher Trip, that's 3 hit. And right now Ekro looking to push through. He gets 4 on the round. Knights gets too far ahead of it, but there it is. The spray transfer comes through. The operator's close range. Going for the next one, and there it is. Shots come through. It's enough to take the diffuser down. And right now Mento's playing around it very well. He gets all of them. Jadico. Ooh, the spray transfer comes through, and that's 3 for Jadico. Score here. Shots are going to come through the lineup. Ooh, he gets the clutch. There it is. All right, folks, welcome to OPRITIVZ versus ILH here. Now, we're going to hop into the map Veto. So looking like OPRITIVZ is going to ban that Haven. And Nick, we did talk about how ILH went down to OPRITIVZ for the only time, and it was on bind, and they actually go ahead and ban that out here. So it looks like even they are looking back to those Cup 1 statistics and making sure that they bring out any advantages they can. This is looking nice. Now looking here, so Sunset is actually going to be our first map that we're going to be playing. And ILH are going to start on that defense. Now, I don't remember seeing OPRITIVZ too much on Sunset. We get that Icebox map too, which is going to be a lot of fun to watch because we haven't gotten a lot of Iceboxes this tournament. But I'm really excited to see this because OPRITIVZ, a team that I noticed played a pretty standard style back when we saw them before. So I kind of expect to see that again, but I mean, on the side of ILH, we have Celestial hopping in there, which is really exciting because I remember Celestial playing on Rendezvous in the first cup that we had here, and an incredible player. You know, he's shown some really good things in the server, so I'm excited to see how they fit into this ILH squad.
Absolutely, and I mean, I feel like most teams here have started practicing for the ongoing map pool for which Icebox and Lotus has been out, which is most likely why these maps have consistently been banned. Though it is definitely nice to get to see Icebox, at least for this game.
Yeah, it's going to be really good stuff here. And then we get Sunset, or Ascent rather, as the decider. So pretty standard maps here. I think the map that we've seen the least so far this tournament probably is Bind, right? We haven't seen a lot of Bind this tournament. I wonder why the teams aren't liking that map.
I believe so. I think we've mostly seen it as a decider in the few matches that we did get to see it. So, yeah, I don't know. Many teams seem to not like that map right now. And it has consistently been getting banned.
All right, and as we hop into Agent Select here, Looks like we've got some neon hovers there. We've got the Cypher. We've got Sova, Breach, Omen. All right, so Operatives playing a pretty principled style here on Sunset. You know, we see that comp so many times here. Now, ILH, looks like we might get something a little bit different. And we talked a lot about innovation in this tournament. And obviously, Operatives looking for a more standard style here. But I'm intrigued to see what comp we end up over here. Yes, we get Celestial on the neon.
I mean, that is definitely the expected pick from my latest side here.
Yeah.
As well as Jadico and Omen. Jadico showed some really good performances on Omen.
Yeah. And it's mirror comps too, Nick, which I don't... Actually, is this the first time we've seen that in this tournament so far? I think it might be. Maybe Ascent, we probably saw something like that. But wow.
On Sunset, it definitely is the first time, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe, though, we have seen it in 1 or 2 games in Ascent as well with a very standard comp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite interesting here. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about the comps as well, because looking on the side of Operatives, we actually have Hoopa, who is an emergency sub, if I'm not mistaken, for the team here, and he's going to be on that Neon. And then Penguin, also being an emergency sub, is on that Sova, which is really cool because, I mean, coming into this tournament, I remember we talked about how he's hopping on that Initiator role, and we actually saw him on that Sentinel role back in Cup 1 when he played with the Ultralight squad, and this time around he's on that Initiator role. So it's really interesting to see how he's going to fare out, you know, with this team on this map. But looking on the flip side with ILH, Celestial on that Neon like we expected, I want to talk about Kardistan for a second, who we previously know as Walmart Bag, right? We talked about how he's really good on that duelist role, and, you know, his mechanics have, you know, shined in the server, especially in Cup 1. But he's actually a Flash Initiator main, which was information shared with me by Faye, who goes by Anna from Cup 1, and I'm excited to see him in that role now because they're leaving that space for Celestial to be that duelist, and so that's going to be awesome here on Sunset. I'm excited for that.
Absolutely, I completely agree with this. I mean, again, Walmart had shown us some really good mechanics in Cup 1, though in many cases, I do believe we did see him play a role that was a duelist for one game, and he did show quite a good self on that as well. And I can definitely see him performing well on Initiator as well, especially someone like Breach, who is an Initiator that can actually play more aggressively as well as along with his team.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. And talking about aggression, I mean, I expect him and Celestial to be very aggressive on this map for sure.
Absolutely, that is something that I believe is almost certain.
Yeah, it's going to be really good stuff. Getting that Cypher on both sides. And one of the things I want to talk about, because we're actually, for the first time here in our Sunset cinematic, looking at the updated Sunset. And so, that Cypher, I mean, that was always a question mark that I painted in my head, and how that's going to work out on this new Sunset map. And seeing that they're playing that Cypher over towards A for this pistol round, you know, kind of makes a lot of sense, and it kind of shows that they're also playing to the differences here on Sunset. I mean, he doesn't have quite the same power towards B main that he did before, for obvious reasons. You don't have access to that unbreakable tripwire, and so you see this setup over here towards A, and that's actually where the hit is coming.
Absolutely, I mean, Cypher definitely is still strong on this map. He might not be as strong as he used to be, but he definitely has quite a bit of potential, and I'm always excited to see how people decide to play him now that these changes have come through, as every time there's at least a few different things coming from both sides.
Yeah. Looking as we start to take our approach over towards A here on this pistol. Looks like Operatives want to take this nice and slow, nice and methodical. So far, so good. Moving up into the extremities here. Casby going for these jiggle peaks. So far, no information gained from either. Both teams playing a very principled pistol round here, but they come out, and there's the tripwire landing on the Hoopa there. Not quite clearing that one out. Casby able to take him down, coming into the take here. And even the spy cam further getting information, but Hecker actually taking one down over here towards main. Looks like they want to come into this one a bit quickly. Flashpoint, but Timely getting right ahead of it. And so far, she's done well around the angle, looking for another. There it is. Timely getting 2 coming into this, but Celestial getting the trade-off here. Sheriff in hand, 48 HP. Looking for 2 right now. You can already see They're really intentional about playing really smart around this one, and look at it. It's so good from them. No mistakes forced out there. Operatives really drilled in that post plant there, and there's that pistol round.
Absolutely, they played so well together here, just with such good discipline from the slow push and making sure to clear as much as possible. Even though they ended up running into some trips, which, to be fair, I think anyone would fall into. Not many people expect the Cypher to play on the A side on this map. Even with the changes, most people are still so used to how it used to be that they just don't even think of it. Though they just played so methodically there and just ended up playing it safe.
Yeah, and we have a mid play coming out this time from ILH. Looks like just off that pistol round loss alone, they want to get aggressive into things. Relay bolt comes through from Hoopa, stuns the drone, not the players, but does take down Jadico in the heat of it. Celestial caught alone there in the forward position. Timely trading out again, but Kardistan landing one down with the classic, and that's all the damage they can look for. And a team ace coming out from Operatives in the second round.
Definitely a good effort from them. I mean, the mid push here is definitely something that's quite unexpected and was a good bet they had to at least get a few picks. Didn't quite work out for them as they probably assumed, though they did manage to get 2 picks and also quite a bit of damage. So, I mean, now they have the gun advantage against only 1 rifle and a Spectre coming in from OPRITIVZ.
There they are. Take flight.
Aldrone to clear things out pretty quickly over here towards mid. And you can see how intently both of these teams want to control this mid space. Celestial first point of contact, but both slides come right on through, and Hoopa is better with the engagement there as the Spectre in hand, able to win out that close range gunfight. But Kardistan completely caught out of position, and Hoopa following up again. He's done so well so far. It's always the tale of these substitutes, Nick, coming in and just destroying in the server. Jadico looking to fend things off over here towards Market in the rifle round. Does take down Hoopa. And that is the Neon out. Very big integral part of the retakes here. Timely still does have that rifle in hand. Dark cover towards main. Gonna force the Omen out of this one so far, but Casby looking to look out these entrenched positions. And that's it. Too much for Jadico to handle. Does take down Mekaru, but Timely with the trade and 3 on the round. Able to recover the bonus there.
Using this round as an example, I would like to bring actually something we talked about last match, which is post-plant on the B side of this map. I mean, we talked about the changes quite a bit, and this was a very good example on how they can be used. We saw only 1 person play towards the main, and having 1 play backside towards that box, and 1 play on spike, which was Breach, to be able to use his supportive U-tool to set up his teammates for kill and trade them as he ended up doing on that server. Which seems to actually be the way that this map is heading through now, and it's honestly really exciting to see such a big change.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Looking at it here. Looks like they wanted to go for that B aggression, but completely stopped. Operatives reading into it. Gonna get a full rotation coming out here. There's just Casby to defend this side, but presumably going to play for that retake. But the aftershock forcing him out of position. Well done. Once again, the utility from Operatives just looking really good. And we were in a position like this before when Operatives went up against this very team. Slightly different rosters, but that shot from Kardistan. Really nice there. Now coming into this one, Aldrone gonna look to get the information ahead of the retake here, but Hoopa onto the angle first.
Scanning ahead.
Hecker, recon through the dark cover. Gonna scan onto 1, but he gets 2.
Last player standing.
Bangs 1 right through the other, trying to come around the corner, but Tremgers taking the last one down there, and that's a 4th round win, but really good damage done from ILH.
Absolutely. I mean, the damage round was quite good, especially considering they did not have that much money to spare. I have to say, it's definitely unexpected to see the way Hoopa has been playing, who's someone we've only seen play Sentinel, I believe, so far, or at least for the most part. except from a few matches where he played controller, and now we see him on Neon, an agent that is entirely different than anything we've seen from him so far. Yet, even with a team that he doesn't actually play on, they're playing so well together, and they're adapting to each other's playstyle rather well.
Cage triggered. They found my wire. They found my wire.
Yeah, and speaking of Hoopa, I mean, just look at him go. He's just killing everyone in the server right now. Overdrive in hand. He's already got 4, looking for the ace. Not quite aware where the last one is, but Celestial pretty soon going to be met with that danger. There it is. Hoopa going for the ace here. Chasing down the opposing Neon, but... oh my goodness. Really nice shot there from Celestial, but I mean, Nick, there's nothing left in the tank for the side of ILH. They cannot come back into this retake here, so Celestial gonna have to save that Phantom.
I mean, this was just such a fast push. And this is, again, something we have talked about so many times, where there was the Neon going in first, and especially with their ult, playing so aggressively, yet the team managed to follow up and stay close. Like, while Hoopa ended up actually hitting his shots and getting the kills, he always had at least one person nearby to attempt to trade if anything went wrong. With the exception of, of course, at the end where we were chasing down Celestial, who was trying to get that save in. I'm very curious to see how ILH decides to adapt to this, though, as they seem to be struggling quite a bit right now when it comes to how to play against this sort of switch we're seeing from OPRITIVZ, from a more passive playstyle to something really aggressive like they did last round. It's definitely going to be some sort of change, but they're going to need to figure out what that needs to be.
Yeah. And it looks like that plan was to go through deep tiles here, but Celestial gets completely caught out. It was the overdrive in hand as well, so that's completely out of the equation, but Hunter's Fury from Hecker comes right on through, lands onto 1. Tremger's completely taken down there. And that is the Sentinel. Taken out of the equation to the attackers, but engagement still happening all around. We have quickly gotten into a retake scenario in this round, Nick. Neural Theft to come right on through. Hoopa looking for the engagement onto Hecker. Slides come right on through, but Mekaru left towards the site, and a bit of a crunch there, but Hoopa assisting things out, helping alleviate the pressure, but the run comes through, and Hecker takes him down when the Neon animation comes through. An awkward engagement there, but that is the first round converted for ILH.
Absolutely, and I mean, that ended up coming down to just a matter of a few split seconds there. Like, that animation was the main thing that was stood between OPRITIVZ actually having a chance to take this round. But we did see a very different playstyle here from ILH. They tried to play a lot more aggressively compared to what they did before in the past few rounds, where they tried to play a bit further back, maybe get a few early picks, and then just approach for a retake.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to go for something similar here, having a setup with 3 players mid and 1 coming up from market.
Oh my goodness. And it's the spam fest too, past the dark cover. Hecker was able to recover the first blood in the round, and I feel like it's every round, Nick, we say someone's eliminated within the first few seconds. Celestial trying to get the spams onto the B site, but the comms coming through. That's where the hit's coming. Bucky in hand for Jadico here. And right now, on this new sunset, we're looking at what this backside control looks like. Hoopa on the off angle, taking down Kardistan in the heat of the moment, but there it is. Really nice relay bolt, but Casby with the trade on the Odin. Mekaru caught towards this mid site. They've got the Rolling Thunder in hand, but no time to use it. Celestial right through the dark cover. Looking for the next kill. Mekaru with the TP right into the dark cover. Spam. He's looking for it, almost line up. Taking down Casby, and there it is. A clutch from Mekaru, 3 on the round. Celestial not able to get the job done. And that's round number 6 for OPRITIVZ.
And again, that's such a good way to approach the situation. I mean, Mekaru got stuck there and immediately, like with no hesitation, decided to just teleport through the smoke and play that angle very differently than what you'd expect. I mean, in that situation, you'd usually expect the one person to try and get an early pick to bring the round down to equal terms in a 2-1 situation, and instead decided to take a much more risky approach that in this case actually ended up paying off.
And this time it's still that mid that they're looking to control for the side of ILH, but it's a lot more reserved this time. Celestial getting inserted into this deep position. This new box here with the Bucky, but looks like they're going to clear it out. That's it. Completely cleared. Well done. Neural Theft coming through. So far, all boxes being checked off for operatives. They know it's an awkward buy. You have to clear those corners like that. A job well done. Aldrone going to confirm all 4 players left for operatives towards market. So rotation from Casby should be coming out soon here. And the only thing they can really look for in this round is damage. You've got the Bulldog, you've got the Sheriff. Maybe try to get 2 kills, grab 2 of those rifles, run away, and get that save. But and right now, they've got 4 ahead of them to make it happen. Looking for the first peek in here. There's the first one. Well done. There's the second. This makes it a little bit possible coming into this. Got the Hunter's Fury, but Casby going for the backside control. What has happened? Oh my goodness, that was so close. Timely, able to take down both last players there and recover the win for operatives, but it was close.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a 2-4 situation. Like you said, it looked unwinnable. We said to possibly try and save a few guns, yet they actually managed to get 3 picks and get really close to win the round. I mean, they just ended up losing because of Timely's off angle, which ended up getting them to line up and just spray down both of them. I mean, a lot of these rounds are getting so close. Like, even though ILH cannot seem to get the last pick in to win the round, they're consistently getting so close these past few rounds. They just need to find like that small change to get a bit closer to it than what they actually are.
Yep. And I love what we just saw from Hoopa there. Oof. He still gets caught out. You see how aware he was of those Cypher tripwires, because he got caught out by that on pistol round. This time with the overdrive. Able to take things a little bit safer towards the safe site. Nonetheless, Paranoid coming through to stop the choke from CT coming through. So far, no retake yet, but getting fended off. Tremgers getting completely forced out from the dark cover there, and the Rolling Thunder does finally come on through, but I mean, it's on an awkward round of all. Timely going down the Cardi stand there, and the bodies have completely all dropped for the side of operatives. ILH handling that retake so well, and they got to save their ultimates on top of that too, Nick.
Absolutely, they did not get to use anything. I mean, Cardistan's positioning there ended up not getting caught by that breach shot by being on the set heading towards elbow, which is something that operatives just wasn't ready for. And I mean, who would have been in that situation? Yet that was actually what ended up making that such a big difference that just won the round for ILH.
Yep.
This aggressiveness in general is something that has consistently paid off for them so much. Yet at the same time, Operatives is a team that, the way they're playing right now and with how they're paying so much attention and all their discipline, I do not think it's something that will work consistently. So we have to see what ILH decides to do here.
I love that. Those are really good questions to be asking in this scenario here. And you can see they're not prioritizing mid as much, but Tremger's still taking down Cardistan towards top mid here. This time it's a much heavier hold over here towards B. Celestial, the one towards the choke, able to get the first one on the Hoopa, looking for the second, does get it. Spray transfer, looking for it, does not get it. But Celestial has done their job, and then some. Mekaru, the only one left in this scenario. Looking for backside here, able to take down Hecker. Now completely taken away from the scenario is Casby, but pretty soon they're going to go ahead and group up here. Looking for info, Shrouded Step, going to fake back.
Shadows traveling.
You see they both want to play together here, play very smart, tradable positions. Spike is down, so Control going to be able to get taken. Shots a little bit labored, taking out Casby though. And Jadico, the only one left in this scenario. Omen versus Omen. Who gets the controller diff here? He's looking at the wrong angle. Jadico able to take it down, and that's ILH recovering their third.
And I mean, that discipline coming in from both teams in that situation, Jadico had such a chance to push that. And in that case, it could have been something that was viable, yet they did not even take the chance. They just stayed there and waited for their team to rotate to play that 2v1.
Yep.
They definitely have a good approach here with their traps and what they're doing. Like that trap towards B was so good. I mean, it came down a lot to Celestial hitting the shots at the beginning and getting those 2 picks. Though at the same time, they held this B main choke point so well that they ended up getting 4 picks there.
Yeah. I love how much you're playing that Cypher over towards A as well. And have 3 on B. There's so many more positions you can play on that site. So many more ways you can approach it. And I love to see how ILH are doing that so far. Although the scoreline's not quite in their favor. You see the adjustments to the sunset changes. Right now, once again, super passive setup here by Casby. Just going for the jump spots, looking for information on the camera. Looks like ILH want to play full retake for this one. Makes a lot of sense too. They're down numbers. And they've got ultimates to work with as well. Stun comes through, confirms the presence towards this site. But Hoopa, once again, running into the trip bars there, but Casby not there to take him down. Spike plant does come through.
Spike planted.
And Tremgers taking down Kardistan after the aftershock comes through, and even Casby going down CT there. And all of a sudden, Nick, 2 of the ILH members get taken down. And this is looking really unlikely.
One enemy remaining.
Shot down.
Alright. First kill comes through, but Mekaru with a very quick trade over there towards main. 2 still left standing, and that's round number 8 for Operatives.
Last round before the switch.
Yeah, it just comes down to that. Of course they held. I mean, I want to bring back what you just said about the Cypher on A. I actually really like that approach, because on this map, B has always been the site where you can very easily try to set some trap on and hold the main. However, with how strong Cypher was, it was something that was very rarely done, because it could just place the trip and have one person play there and one marker, and then just have the 3 others pay attention towards A. ILH seems like they're trying to have the exact opposite approach and have Cypher on A with the changes and actually use all those off angles on B. However, it seems like for A, they've just been operatives have just been pushing so aggressively that just one person won't cut it to hold it.
Yep. Celestial making contact with the operator there too. Not able to get the pick. Gonna have to take things away, but Kardistan right through the dark cover here. Happens so often. Hoopa, the overdrive, and how many overdrives is that this half so far? This time not able to take him down, but Hecker this time gonna opt in for the Hunter's Fury off the back of that. Looking for one and does take down Timely. Kardistan following up with the Guardian as well into the head of Penguin. And Mekaru left by his lonesome, and there's a flawless to end off the half for ILH there.
Switching sides.
And I mean, that was exactly the change I was just talking about. They shifted from the heavy B control to having 2 more towards mid and only leaving Celestial holding B main down with that op from an off angle as well, which ended up getting them their last pick. And it seems like that was just the change they needed to get that 4th round on the board.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be an interesting half here, though, because we did see some really good aggression coming from ILH, even though it did not work that well. This is the half where the aggression is something that can pay off a lot more than it did last half, as they actually have the chances to push in together against fewer people. So I definitely want to see how they decide to take this approach here.
Yeah, and it looks like mid is a huge part of that approach. There's already 2 inserted towards this mid space. Awkward gunfight, but dark cover coming through at the right time. And right now, you see Celestial regrouping here too. They want to re-clear into this. Ooh, doesn't quite check the corner. And that's the difference of that position right there. But I mean, the gunfights and all the bodies dropping for the side of Operatives in a matter of a second. It's only 2 trades to come out. Penguin looking to get himself into this one. Sheriff in hand, but Casby with the runaway able to take that down. And ILH with a very quick pistol here.
And they try the same old
I mean, that was such a good play from them. I mean, they ran straight into a trap. OPRITIVZ had 4 people play mid, having 2 top mid and 2 behind that box outside of market. Yet they actually managed to pick every single one of them off one by one and not even give them a chance to actually use that trap as they intended.
Yeah, that's a really good response from them. Looking at this too, looks like both teams originally were looking for A aggression here, but completely caught out by the tripwire is going to be Hoopa.
cage triggered.
And this quick regroup towards mid as well. I love how dynamic ILH are playing this attack so far. Very dynamic from them, but Challengers has found his way all the way through B main from the beginning of the round there. So we're going to get cleared out by Jadico. And that's all she wrote on that front. And now the rest of OPRITIVZ scrambling to look for anything that they can get in this eco round here. Any damage that they can grab, but ILH aren't giving up any picks so far. Timely.
Player standing.
Looking to help things out here. Does get the first one for Penguin. And taken down at the end there. Only 1 pick for OPRITIVZ for ILH, so not a lot of eco damage.
And I mean, here it's like we're seeing almost an entirely different team. ILH was doing good on defense and they played quite well, but they actually seem like they have such good synergy, something that was rather missing on that defense half. Now though, they actually get to play together and they get to play a lot more aggressively. They're actually playing with each other and not just letting their teammates fall for no reason. They're getting those trades in, they're getting those early picks, and they just have such good map awareness pushing in. I mean, Jadico there deciding to hold B main, while it was a very unexpected position for Challengers to be in so early into the round.
Yeah. And to even add to that, it's that Kardistan and Celestial duo you and I were talking about pre-game. You see that coming out on this attack side. There's so many more things that you can do here. There it is towards backside, the aftershock, looking to force Challengers out of position, but he has completely changed the course of that narrative. Still alive towards backside. Kardistan wasn't able to get that trade. Still going to make an approach to this. 3 left on the side of OPRITIVZ on this defense, but 2 of them completely disconnected from the play here. Does get a spot there. So far, playing at his risks, but he's going to opt to go back into Boba, waiting for them both to come back, and there it is. Casby gets away towards main, but Kardistan is the one left onto this site, so he's going to have to do the damage. Finds the first, there it is. Looks for the second, doesn't get it. Timely gets traded out, but Mekaru taking down Casby as he comes through the smoke main, and OPRITIVZ find themselves with that first rifle round win.
I mean, that was such a good approach for the retake. It was a risky one, pushing in all together like that through such a narrow space, especially when seeing someone going to be main. That is such a risky move to make, as it's just something that can be sprayed down and you don't know where the second player is. Yet they decided to take that risk and actually played that so well together.
Yeah.
It looks like here we have some technical issue coming in from Mekaru.
Standard disconnect.
Something that we have unfortunately seen quite a few times in the past few games, yeah.
As soon as Mekaru gets back into the action here, we will hop into the round now. We get a chance to kind of digest, what's happening here on the map now that we have this free space here. And I say this a lot when we have these tech pauses because, I mean, man, sometimes these rounds feel like they go so quick. I mean, the fights just happen so fast and the teams are just moving so quick for their own good sometimes. And so this also gives both teams a chance to recollect themselves.
Exactly, and I mean, especially with these teams that have such an aggressive play style, these rounds are just going by so fast. Like, they all last a couple minutes max, and that it barely gives us time to actually talk about so many things.
Yep. Looking like Mekaru has hopped back in here. I mean, looking at this scoreboard, I mean, It's looking good. Pretty decent performances all around. Penguin with a more quiet game, but he has had some really good impact, though, in some of these rounds. And I'm particularly looking towards Hoopa, who has shown some really impressive things on this Neon so far. That dynamic shifted just a little bit as they moved things over to defense for operatives. And so I'm looking for him to definitely make a bit of a difference coming into these next rounds because, I mean, with ILH looking a bit better on this attack, you don't want to start taking that back seat, right? That's where the nerves settle in, and that's where you start playing that passive style that ultimately gives your opponents the pace of the game.
Absolutely, they cannot risk to let ILH get this momentum going. And here we have the same mid push, or a similar approach to a mid push, which I've seen pretty much every round so far this half.
Yep. And that cam from Tremders gets that information as well. It's good for B main, it's good for market as well. You see them regrouping off that cam alone. So far, playing together is operatives on that defense. But Tremders, he's completely taken this B main space. But at the same time, Casby has taken the space all the way towards Boba. So those are both going to be integral players coming into this. I think he's actually going to find them early. Yes, gets the first. Not going to go for the second. Not too greedy on that lurk there. And both Cyphers on each side have completely swapped places. If you look at the mini-map here. And look at them sniffing him out. Mekaru going to take him down into this one. So not going to be a part of the equation going into this, but the positions here are going to have to be a bit wary. They don't have that tripwire, but looks like they're pretty aware. Timely. They have to clear out this corner. They're going to have to go quicker here.
One enemy remaining.
Flash comes through from Kardistan. And just like that, too, on the side of Operatives drop, make that 3. Celestial with the spam. No defuse to come through. And ILH, they're making a really good comeback.
And exactly as you said, that was such a disciplined approach here coming in from ILH's side. I mean, Casby ended up getting that pick on Penguin from behind and had a very good chance to keep taking the fight for Timely, yet they did not even want to risk that. They immediately fell back and went into spawn, even though that only bought them a few extra seconds and one more attempt to get a kill onto Mekaru. They still managed to get a bit of pressure that let their team take so much more space by having operatives pay a lot more attention behind them.
Yep. And this time, we do get to see how this setup plays towards the B site, but defenders completely taking space of this B main. They've wrapped all the way around so far. Hoopa with the overdrive in hand has looked really good with it before, but this time not able to land any value off of it. Celestial taking down Tremders as well. That is the Sentinel on the side of operatives.
Spike down.
It's just Celestial left, able to get the first, but with the peek over towards B main, they're both lined up, and that's a thrifty coming out from operatives. I love that. Really good push from them.
Absolutely, and I mean, these are the strats that actually end up winning these rounds. Going to thrifty, or during a situation where you have a low buy like this, which in this case was just pistols, you have to do something very different and very unexpected to try and get those early picks on, and that is exactly what they ended up doing. They got that overdrive in, and Hoopa ended up getting that one early pick. And then by having so many people wrap towards the main, and then some going towards market and Boba, ILH just got absolutely pinched into the side with nowhere to go.
Yeah, in that early fight there, that's the smokes for ILH too. They don't even have that for this attack right now. Very awkward position to be in. They're on a bit of an eco as well. You see that Sheriff in the hands of Celestial does have access to that overdrive, but I mean, it's still a really awkward position to be in when you don't have that smokes to get those closer range gunfights. So they're going to have to rely solely on cyber cages here. And as soon as I say that, Casby goes down to Hoopa. So now the really only sight deterrence that they have here is that fast lane from Celestial on the Neon. Guardian is going to be obtained, though. Working things over towards A is ILH. Operatives looking to make a passive hold of things. So far, pretty principled from them. Mistakes forced out, but here Point of contention comes over towards A main. Peek comes through. And you see the immediate reaction from operatives. The moment that gunfight happens, they're rotating over towards this A space. There it is, overdrive. Coming out from Celestial, goes a little bit quiet on the affair. Love that. The mind games playing around, Neon versus Neon, but Hoopa is the one gonna win that one out. You have Hecker and Kardistan here. Both have Vandals in hand. Definitely possible. Rolling Thunder in hand as well. Looking for the first, but it's a bit labored. The repeat comes through, and Hecker also taking down the player towards CT. Oh my goodness. They invest that Hunter's Fury as well. You see how much ILH need this, and they take that round away from operatives.
What do you say, drone? Ready to stretch your wings?
And I absolutely love that from them. I mean, a round that you don't have that many buys on is usually a round where people do not like to invest their odds, because there's a big risk to do, but it's also something that can very easily bring the round down to bring both teams to very similar positions, which is exactly what they did there. I mean, that overdrive coming in the beginning ended up getting that one pick and a bit of damage in, and also it led up to Hooper getting traded immediately, and then that hardest here at the end just guarantees them the round.
Deploying drone.
Slight different approach here. Mekaru gonna play towards elbow by himself, but the shrouded step to get out of position. The crunch from main comes through. So far, really good spacing from ILH coming into this. They are gonna get the spike plant here. Full retake scenario, but you've got that Hunter's Fury in the hands of operatives. And so I'm looking for that to possibly come out here. Fault line gonna come through. There's the counter fault line. Looking for an aftershock angle. Timely. Veering towards CT here, but the fight towards main. Tremgers playing around the dark cover, and he gets the first one into the site. Already forcing ILH on their back foot in this post plant right now. Both flashpoints invested. Kardistan not able to land the shots, but Celestial looking for the clutch. And the first shot comes through. There's the fourth on the round. What a clutch from Celestial there. And those are the heroics that you need from ILH to come back into this. 9-10.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, it comes down to playing together as a team and having good discipline and good synergy, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be these situations, these almost seemingly unwinnable clutches that just comes down to that one player, in this case Celestial, hitting a few shots and actually getting that round in on the board for ILH. A very needed one at that, as Reckoning was starting to get a little bit on the low side, but the game is a lot closer now and they're on a lot closer terms.
Yeah, but this round, operatives have a Hunter's Fury and Rolling Thunder to invest here. Additionally, you've got that from the Shadows and Neural Theft. Now this one way from the side of operatives, this was something that you weren't actually quite able to do towards that extremity before. But with the changes, that box there, you get quite a different angle. It's really nice to see. Tremgers playing around that angle as well. Able to take down Jadico as she walks into the angle.
My camera is
And this guy's been really good at defending sites so far this series as well, Nick.
Absolutely. I mean, even on that attack half with his legs, and now with just holding it on his side, he's just been anchoring sites and then going for that flank as soon as they have info or guaranteed info on ILH pushing aside, which has worked so well for them. Pretty much every round they've won.
Yep, and things are coming over here towards B as well. But as we talked about, we were just talking of him.
Enemy remaining.
Speak of the devil, playing around the angle so well. Tremgers holding down that B site with assistance from Boba there in Penguin. And that's round number 11 for operatives. I mean, ILH have worked so hard to come this far, and they're looking to not let things slip away.
What is even more impressive is that operatives actually did not use a single one of those ults we mentioned, and they are in fact actually only one or both getting that overdrive in.
Here.
I mean, they have so much to work with, both to play pre-planned and to play in that retake situation if ILH does manage to get the spike down here.
And a full hit over towards this A site. Celestial Clearing all the way through. Tip of the spear. Sight clear. The plant's going to come through. And you see how comfortably Operatives can play for retake. And there it is. Rolling Thunder to come through. No real protocol to handle this for the side of ILH either. Still goes down with the plant. But Celestial finds some kills. Cardi stand to peek right on through with the flash. And they've made good work of this so far. Mekaru gonna have to Shrouded step out of there. Going for the next engagement onto Celestial. And Mekaru's been really quick to react so far this game. Plant coming down. Mekaru taking space towards backside here. But they're playing together from ILH. This is gonna be really hard to recover. He knows they both have to be towards main though. Nobody crossed from his sightlines after the spike plant. Smoke comes down onto the spike. There's the tap. But the recon doesn't spot him. He's able to get it down through the smoke. He's expecting a rewrap, but it's not coming through. Celestial, ooh, misses the timing. Next tap comes onto the spike. Gonna have to confirm it pretty soon. There it is. A clutch from Celestial and the 10th round on the board for ILH. I mean, Celestial's been so pivotal in the success of these late rounds, Nick.
Absolutely. They definitely started off this game a bit on the slower side. Well, on this half, they have shown an entirely different self. They've just been playing so well with their team and getting such crucial picks from that clutch a few rounds ago to this rapid here, where they decided to go through that smoke and head toward that default position to get that pick at the end, which came down to just a millisecond and Mekaru missing that timing. And that is such a big one as well, as we did see that Rolling Thunder coming in from Operatives, which did not actually manage to win them the round. We do also have Overdrive from ILH for this round.
Spike planted.
Drones coming through at the same time there. The Penguin is the one looking to fight this backside space, but gets spammed right before the cage comes up. Mekaru looking for any damage, not able to get it. ILH, really good recoveries here.
And ILH is just getting such an aggressive approach here, and that is exactly what is nice to see from them here. I mean, Operatives had these odds, had that Rolling Thunder last round, had this Overdrive this round, and ILH just didn't even give them a chance to get value off it by just flooding the sites and not giving them any space to move. And now that is actually on their side, where they have that Overdrive. They also have that from the shadows, and they're really close to getting both Hunter's Fury and Rolling Thunder.
Wow, my eyes are down.
And this time, no aggressive approaches towards any of the sites for Operatives on this defense. They're looking to play this one a little bit more reserved. Playing off the site here as the Rolling Thunder comes through. So far, investing into this one pretty smart. Hunter's Fury from Penguin comes out, though. Does get a tag onto Heckert, the opposing Sova, and he does take him down. Celestial with 2 on that Overdrive. And right now, with numbers down, Operatives, ILH are looking to make this comeback a reality. They're looking to make this comeback a win on this map. But Timely and Penguin still left. Flash comes through, looking for the tripwire, but not able to get it. Penguin coming right through the smoke there, but Cardi stand with the angle towards this box is able to take her down. 12-11 right now. This is the last round of regulation.
And that's actually such a nice angle Catch got there, which is really nice to see, because this was a thing that was really big before these changes. But now, with that short wall added on the jump up, many people do not expect someone to play that.
Yeah.
Yet there is still this small gap that allows you to get this off angle towards CT. A really risky one at that, as there is nowhere to hide if they do flood out, but against a situation where there's only one person in the team, that's just such a good position to play.
A very quick Hunter's Fury there from Hecker, not able to land onto anyone, but once again, Mekaru here to try to fend things off, not able to do it. Spike plant once again. It's so aggressive, like we've said. And it just comes in immediately. Full A control taken here. We get a quick lurk as well from Casby, but as I say, that does get taken down and out of the equation. That enables Tremgers to be able to take this neural theft and use it to his advantage, but the picks come through. And right now, the damage has been done from Operatives, and they forced us into overtime here.
I'm out of here.
And then that was such a dominant run coming in from them. That
Switching
retake
sides.
was just so good. They did
Overtime.
not give ILH any space to do what they intended. Like, it looks like they were ready to try and get some aggression towards CT there, and they didn't even get them a chance to start shifting towards the positions where they wanted. And again, we go back to the half where Operatives did so good their attack side.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
This is also something we've talked about a lot, but
I'll show them.
these rounds are
Careful
also
here.
have to be getting so nerve-wracking for both these sides. I mean, Operatives who were winning so dominantly in the first half, now coming down to overtime, but at the same time ILH who were this close to taking this map away, and now they have to play out from both sides again, even though they had such a good appearance on this attack half.
Yeah, and I want to mention too, Celestial opting in for that glass cannon this round. Got taken down so early.
They found my wire. They
Very
found my
expensive
wire.
weapon here. Now Casby, both wires get taken down. It looks like he was going to try to go for an Odin spam here, and it just gets completely taken out of the equation. So far, the setup for ILH really awkward, as so many pieces of this plan, so many pieces of the puzzle looked like they got faltered really early in the round. And Jadico forced off by the paranoia very early into this, but the rest of the team is already on site. And you see the full spam from Casby to try to take the choke point away from Elbow there, but the kill while stunned comes right on through from Hecker, but Casby, the only one left, and an Odin in hand. 4 people on the other side of this one. I mean, it's so unlikely. Gets the first, but Tremgers with a quick trade, and Operatives have regained the lead.
Switching
And
sides.
this is exactly what we just said. Operatives look so good on that attack side. And this puts ILH in such a bad situation mentally, because that is the first round they're playing for this overtime. They need to get such a big change here, and now they're playing knowing that if they lose this round, this is over. Yet if they win, they have to redo this entire thing again. And win a half that they've struggled so much on.
Definitely a difficult position indeed, but Tremgers almost caught out there. He's got that Odin again too in this overtime.
Found my wire.
Aftershock towards the backside, but I love this from ILH. A lot more of a strategic approach to this. It's not just go in, run it down. They're not risking it too much, because right now they're at risk of losing this map here, as it is on map points. So you see them going for that B aggression, trying to pull rotations, and this full regroup towards A right now. Casby, the tip of the spear, popping that cam towards B every once in a while to keep that pressure there. But I mean, Operatives are all rotating right now, and although they're all here, the spike plant will still come through. Presumably no flood. Hoop onto the angle right now, but the aftershock completely denies the plant, and there is the flood that will be coming through. Hecker able to play around the angle, but Hoopa has done so well on that Neon thus far this game, taking down Celestial, and it all comes down to Casby.
Oh, cage trigger.
Looking to bring things back into this, but that is it. The defuse comes right on through from Operatives. They almost made the comeback happen, but ultimately getting that victory is Operatives.
And again, with such a nice performance coming into the retake, I mean, for Metro TPing into such a risky position that actually ended up paying off by getting that early pick on Jadico. And again, such a good look. That was exactly what we we're just talking about. Both teams did have some change, respectively, with ILH on that defense half and Operatives on their defense half. And that is exactly what we saw here with that early flood, which was not expected due to them not having the uniform, like the results that we saw earlier into this half.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at the scoreboard here, Hoopa, such a nice performance on that Neon. Like you said, we're used to him being on that Sentinel role for his team, but this time he's on that Neon, and he has performed so well. 9 first bloods. I mean, that is insane coming out from the Neon on the side of OPRITIVZ, and I mean, really exceptional performance from him. And on the flip side, Celestial on the Neon has shown really good things in the server here. You see the Breach Cardi stand right behind him. And I mean, both teams showed a really good performance this series, but I mean, 14-12 at the end of the day. So close, Nick. So close, but they just didn't have that answer on the attack side.
And this was also OPRITIVZ's map pick, which ended up being quite close. So I'm definitely curious to see how Icebox decides to be, it's going to be. Though both teams took such a different approach in this in their attack hats. I mean, OPRITIVZ had their Neon play aggressively and just take the space. While ILH, on the other hand, while they were playing also very aggressively, they did not have this one approach with having Neon as the tip of the spear going in. They were actually all going in together, which is definitely why, or at least looking at their side of the first bloods on their side, they are a lot more equal across their team. They don't have this big of a difference with having like Hoopa with 9 and the rest having a few each.
Yeah.
They all have at least one with Casby and Godstenhi coming in with 3. They all play together so well and they just stay together the entire time, which is, while it is a similar playstyle, it is also such a different way to approach playing aggressively, which is really nice to see as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was so well said too. And I want to talk about Challengers as well, the Sentinel on the side of OPRITIVZ, who had 5 of those first bloods for that team. I mean, so many first bloods on their end, but a lot of those first bloods, Nick, came from that lurk. So, I mean, Icebox, we know that's a map, especially that being our second map, we know that's a map that's really good for lurks, especially in that mid position. And he was really good at playing those mind games. And I feel like on Icebox, because Icebox feels like such a one-dimensional map when it comes to lurk potential and the way that you have to play around your lurks, I feel like Challengers would really show up well there. So I'm looking for him to be a difference maker as well on this side for that map.
I can definitely agree with that. I mean, Sunset's a map where it is a lot harder to like, especially considering that one of the most selected Sentinels there is Cypher, someone who can just leave a trip and have information there, which pretty much denies an unexpected lurk, which we did see a few times happen. Though on Icebox, this is not something that happens, and it's a map where a good lurk can make such a big difference. I mean, we see pretty much plays for entire halves coming in with comps playing Viper, just throwing that orb mid every single round just to try and make their team believe that there's someone who could lurk at any point. And then once this doesn't happen a few times, you try to catch them off guard with that unexpected lurk. It's something that makes such a big difference and is so important on a map like this.
Yeah, really important on this map. Speaking of, folks, we don't want to keep you waiting for too long. We're going to go ahead and head on to a short intermission here, but we'll be back with Icebox. All right, welcome back to ILH versus OPRITIVZ. Sunset, very close affair, 14-12 in favor of OPRITIVZ here. Hoopa coming out as the match MVP, and we're throwing things over to Icebox Nick. Now, we talked about it a little bit during the break there, is how we saw a very principled approach from both teams in terms of the comp, but obviously very, very aggressive approaches respectively on defense and on attack. Now on Icebox here, I expect to see the same thing. Very similar comps, maybe even mirror comps. We might get that Viper, Killjoy, Sova, Gecko, Jet, or we might get something completely different, but I do expect something pretty meta out of both of these teams as they seem to play standard.
I can definitely agree with this. I mean, maybe we'll see something different than what we normally see, because, for example, in the duelist sport, in this map, something we see pretty much every game is Jet. I do believe, at least from my ILH side, we're going to see that Neon, considering Celestial played Duelist last game. And we all know how much they like to play that Neon. So
yeah,
it is something we might get to see. But I do agree that for the most part, we're going to see something rather standard, at least with those, with like that KJ, that Viper. And Icebox is also a map where I don't really believe it's as sided towards like either attack or defense. I actually believe Icebox is one of the most balanced map between the two sides.
Yeah, I can agree with that actually.
Seeing that both these teams had such a good attack half and struggled quite a bit on the defense one, I'm a bit curious to see what approach they decide to take coming into this map. It's definitely going to be an interesting one to see.
Yeah, definitely interesting. And speaking of that duelist role, Nick, I want to highlight our MVP from last game was actually Hoopa. Really exceptional performance, 317 ACS, the only one topping over 300 ACS actually in the server on that map alone. But I want to highlight one particular stat here that is always really impressive when it's high and you see that duelist role is the first bloods. 9 first bloods, meaning he got the first kill of the round 9 times that game out of the rounds there, and it was the highest first bloods in the lobby. And so that means that something about OPRITIVZ system is working right now between the way they're playing those initiators around Hoopa. And so I'm really excited to see that translate into Icebox.
Absolutely, and that is so impressive. I mean, considering the map went on for like 26 rounds, it is so impressive to get to see 9 first bloods come in. I mean, that's more than like a third of the rounds.
Yep. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, and I really want to see how they decide to approach this. Because I don't know if... Because Hope, again, is not a player that had played Duelist before, and he's someone who's seemingly not going to play this game. So I don't know what they're going to decide to do here.
Yeah. And now after looking at these stat lines, I want to shift things over to another stat line that we have here in terms of the initiators. Now, when we look at it here, we've got both Hecker and Penguin who played towards those initiator roles in that last map. And so we've got Hecker, you know, who came out on top with that 240 ACS and the 25 KDA. Really good, exceptional work from Hecker here on that Sova. 5 plants. And so looking at these stat lines alone, Nick, is where you can start to think, you know, where did those assists come from? You know, how did all these things work out for both of these initiators? Because these 2 Sova players is what I'm going to be looking to on Icebox, because this is a pretty staple pick on the map. And so I'm excited to see these strengths come out there. Penguin with not such a great performance on that Sova last map. And that could just mean because that alone just, you know, wasn't a good agent for him on that map. I've seen Penguin play Sova on other maps, but it might have been more difficult for him on Sunset, but he's really going to have to make a bit of a turnaround here on Icebox so that they can get a little bit more success, because Sova's a pretty important agent on this map.
Definitely, it's an agent that is in almost every comp we see. I'm assuming that we're going to see comps towards what we'd say like the meta on Iceboxes right now. in something more standard. So again, I do expect to see that Viper, that Killjoy, that Sova, and the duelist between Jet and Neon. I'm definitely curious to see who they decide to put on each role, especially from OPRITIVZ side. Though, I mean, we've got a pretty good idea on who's playing what based on that first map.
And ladies and gentlemen, give us just a second here while we figure out a tech issue on the side of OPRITIVZ, but we'll be back in just a moment here. welcome back to ILH versus Operatives after that impromptu tech pause there. But we've got things situated. The full Operatives roster is ready to play with their emergency sub 4, map number 2. So we're heading things in the icebox here.
Definitely an exciting map to see here. I mean, especially after seeing Sunset. This seems like it's going to be a quite good map to watch.
Yeah, I think so too.
What I'm most
Already
curious
in
about
agent
to see
select.
exactly it is to see what they decide to play. We already have the Sova that we did say we're most likely going to see, and the KJ, as well as seemingly that Viper.
What? Nuh-uh. Wait, they're gonna put Penguin on Duelist, Nick. What? Wait. Is that what I'm about to see? Because I thought he was going to be the one playing the Sova, because he just did on some... No. No, no, no. That is so
Just
cool.
the same. I mean, we had this again from the first 2 games of this season where Penguin has been walking on his Sova quite a bit. I definitely do not expect to see him on that Duelist role here.
Yeah. And it looks like they're kind of figuring... Yeah. And it looks like they're kind of figuring it out in Agent Select as well. But I mean, whoa. Mecharoo back on controller. Expected that. Tremger's back on that Sentinel on Killjoy. Okay. But this is definitely different.
Another thing to bring out here is that we have Carlston there on that Duelist and Celeste looking in that Reyna.
What is happening? What is happening? Wow. Okay. So let's break that down a little bit. So on the side of ILH first, Cardi Stan is on Neon instead of Celestial, which is a bit of a surprise, but Celestial's on that Reyna. Now, we didn't get a Sova from ILH, which is a bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping to see that, especially here on Icebox. Really good agent on this map. But I mean, solo KO. We've got the Viper, we've got the Killjoy. I mean, Nick, all I'm expecting out of ILH this game is just to be taking duels. Duel after duel.
Absolutely. I mean, that is such an aggressive comp. KO is definitely one of the best initiatives you could have for this specific comp, especially playing one initiator on this map, because he has that small mix of like getting some info as well as having some utility supporters to meet to take fights. Though it's definitely something on a comp that it is very, very unexpected to see here. I mean, considering though how aggressive ILH's playstyle was and how well they did playing aggressive, I do think it's something that has the potential to work for them, and that's something that is going to have to work with them with these agent choices.
Yeah. Which is interesting. And on the flip side, Nick, of Operatives, it's not the comp that surprises me, because I think that's the comp we exactly named before this game started, but it's the roles that surprise me here. Penguin on the Jet, knowing that he is the initiator player on Ultralight, is very interesting to see, because it's the duelist role that he's picking up as the emergency substitute for this squad in this series. And you and I both know that that role is so important, especially on this map. You need that duelist player that has a really good sense of how scaling works. And, you know, I mean, the mechanics on top of it, all of that put together. And I'm not saying Penguin doesn't have that. I just wasn't expecting for them to put that pressure on him in that role as a substitute.
Absolutely, and that is something I've actually never seen from him either, because we have seen him play other roles other than Initiator, but that was that Sentinel role, usually that Cypher that we saw a lot during the previous season. How did he, moving on to Duelist, it's just such a big change.
Yeah. Insane, for sure.
Very curious to see how this plays out for them. So I have to say, I have high hopes for them. We have seen Penguin do really well in that first game, especially on that second map on Haven when they played on their first matchup this season. So I do believe he can definitely deliver on a role such as Duelist, especially on an agent like that. So I do have high hopes. However, he is going against Celestial and Cardston here, 2 players that we know are so strong with their duelists.
Yeah. Getting right into the action of this pistol round here. So far, have a pretty standard hold over here towards the B site, but the attention's over towards A. That's one thing you see a lot on this map, especially on pistol. You get those 5 stacks going, try to limit test the hold that the defenders have. Cardi's staying on a very wide angle here, and as that toxic screen comes down, he's looking to be careful around the choke. So far, jump spots happening from Casby, so see both of these teams playing around this very patiently. Operatives looking for a mistake to be forced out from ILH, and it's just quiet on the Western Front. Penguin looking to be the tip of the spear here. There it is. Dart comes right on through. Dizzy confirming the presence onto this site, and Penguin right onto here. And right now, the utility's so good. A lot of damage done. Nano Swarm's taking him so low, but Tremgers is looking to get aggressive here. He gets 2 on 38 HP. Jadico able to get the trade right on through. But right now, it's only Jadico and Celestial on the side of ILH to do the damage here in the retake. HP is pretty low on both players from default. They're going to have to get that here. The Dizzy landing on the Jadico here, but tucks right behind the box. Does it well. There it is. First shot coming through from Celestial. Looking for the 1v3. But it's going to be a really tall task as that spike is planted for everything right now. Looking for the second shot. NB1 forcing out the reload here. Going towards that spike here. Gets the tap. Peeks come right on through. There's the second shot. Going around the rope, and it's just not enough. They've played it so well, Operatives. Celestial finding no way into this one. Does get the knife, though. And there it is, the pistol for Operatives.
I mean, he did manage to get quite a few picks there. I mean, 3 picks there for him are quite good, considering it was a 1v4, looking very unwinnable, especially with that plant spot. And for an agent like Reyna, who doesn't really have that much utility there to support a fight like that. I mean, 3 picks is definitely very good and does earn him quite a bit of money. Though, that was definitely a very weird approach, taking so long from both sides to move. A good one at that, but definitely so nerve-wracking, just sitting there with no noise for so long. I mean, it has to get both sides so curious on like what is happening right on the map, which is seemingly the exact opposite from what is happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a full fight here as well. The classics from ILH look so good. Take comes over here towards the B side. Alarmbot confirming the presence into things. Now, Casby's the only one here to fend things off, but there it is. Swarm grenade to come through. Does take down the wingman. The stall's nice, and look, right now on this minimap, we do have a full flank coming out from ILH while Casby continues to try to defend things. That's a second swarm grenade here. He has denied so much and even gets the dink onto Penguin. The damage is done, but the kill is not confirmed. Right now, Kardistan and Hecker looking to make a go at things on this flank. Once again, a dink comes through. The damage looks so good right now from both of these teams. Hecker, there's 1, there's 2. Penguin, make it 3. Hecker with a clutch in that second round eco. ILH converting that one. What a response.
Absolutely, and that was exactly what I was about to say. Such a good response to losing that pistol. I mean, again, like I said on Sunset, when you have a low bar like this, you have to do some play that is completely unexpected and very weird if you want an advantage, and that is exactly what they did. They went from that very slow and passive approach from that first round, just sitting there and jumping to get info, to a full-on A push all the way past Nest, and then ended up just catching Operatives completely off guard and got them those 2 early picks.
Yep.
And that stall coming from Casby was exactly what they needed.
That mid-ord coming right on through. This time it's a bit of a double lurk. Tremgers the one, the tip of the spear in it. Meanwhile, the rest over here grouped up towards A. That's also where the numbers are from ILH, so information gonna have to be gathered on the site here, and they have the comp for it too. Tremgers. This lurk is much more aggressive than the actual hit towards the site is, so he's trying to pull that attention away. You see how the game plan of Operatives this round is starting to work out. And that mid attention is working out really well thus far. Fragment even expended by Hecker here. Not gonna have that in the post plant. Ultimately gets taken down here, but Celestial up in such an aggressive position here, even throwing the Lear, going for the next shot here. It's a little bit labored, does get it. Goes for the dismiss, going for the third, but Timely lands with the Ghost. NB1 not able to cross with Timely there. The spike is in her hands. You see how aggressive they want to get into this one. Don't even give them time to reposition. ILH are playing the tempo so well now. Timely looking for Bacardi stand quicker to the punch. And there's a second round for ILH.
And this is once again this aggression coming in from ILH, trying to get those early picks to give themselves an advantage. Because not only do they give themselves a man advantage there, but getting an early pick is so much different to just having a pick in general. Like a pick a minute into the round doesn't mean that much because there is a game plan set. A pick early into the round just not only catches the other enemy team off guard, but also puts them in such an awkward position. Especially when their game plan revolves around that, which in this case was that leg coming in from that killjoy.
It's another A approach early as well. And look, that flank from Joel last time, or Celestial rather, has them forced to be looking into the space. You see Mekaru still in spawn. But the numbers are towards A here. They're really leaning on that alarm bot to completely give them all that B information. And they would be correct. Celestial with the Empress popped. Looking to play really ahead of this one here. This is going to be bloodshed around 410.
This is such a good setup coming in from them as well.
There it is. First one taken down. Dismiss comes right on through. Leering right back through, but it's punished by NB1 as the Lear didn't quite pop. Cardi stand still on this site. Jadico as well. So many more layers left to this. And Operatives not able to get into it. Jadico, really nice 2K there. Hecker to finish things off onto NB1. And there's round number 3 for ILH.
And this is again that second thing we talked about earlier as well, which is these traps ILH has setting, these plays where they decide to play so passively, which catches the enemy team off guard, especially considering that it's entirely the opposite from what they've shown they're so good at. They instead just play completely safe and just hold an angle. And off that one contact, we have Cardisan peeking, getting the early pick, and then Celestial coming in with that second, which just puts Operatives in such an awkward position.
Get out of my way! Found him. Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out. Placing swarm grenade.
Casby once again with the stall work towards B. Penguin towards yellow. The gunfight's happening everywhere else on the map though. 2 kills recovered by ILH into this one. Well done so far. Last 3 players over here. From Operatives over towards the B site. This is where the retake is coming through. Blade Storm by Penguin. Looking to make his way into this one, but that null command coming through just takes that out of the equation. Only a classic to use, but that's all he needs. Recovering the Phantom, does get the next one. Looking the third onto the Celestial, but it doesn't come through. And there it is. The res onto the KO and the defuse to come through from ILH. That was pretty close there.
Absolutely, that ended up being a lot closer than expected, especially considering, to bring out also one small detail, I do not think Operatives realized that they also misplaced the spike by a bit, which seems to have caught them really off guard coming into that post blind, as Celestial was able to start that defuse and get that first half without being exposed towards yellow. And I mean, just small things like that make such a big difference.
Yeah.
It ended up still being such a close round with Penguin's aggression up towards the other side of yellow. However, it was still definitely such a risky situation that could have easily been avoided there.
Yep. And already space being taken from B main by Celestial as well. But pretty soon that's something Operatives is going to have to catch on to, because they can comfortably play towards this A site so many times because of how many times Celestial is able to go on this flank.
You should run.
This time NB1 is a little wise to the occasion. Knife comes out and NB1 is just ready for it. What a nice shot there, but still locked down over towards A site, and this is where the hit is coming through. Penguin Looking for the updraft here. Kardastan not ready for it too. And Penguin able to take one down coming into this, and there's that plant to come through by the wingman. And now we're going to retake. Thrash and Hunter's Fury available by Operative, so I mean, this is looking like a round that ILH are going to have a really tall task ahead of them, but they have the money to make it happen. Casby with the turret, looking for contact towards main. Penguin showing his face onto the site there. Casby taking him down. So far, even numbers on both sides. I didn't think this would be happening, but they're going to have to invest the ultimate into this one as well. Thrash comes right on through, lands onto the bottom, but he's defusing. He's defusing! But they take him down right at the right moment. Operatives, there it is. Second round on the board.
And once again, such a close round. I mean, if that kill on the Viper was half a second later, that could have been the defuse right there. That Viper will end up going down, and that's what led to that pick for them, as he was very exposed to all three of them. And that's something we see every single round. Like, they're all, or at least the past two rounds have come so close.
Placing swarm grenade.
See a bit of the prep work coming out there as well. The lineup from Operatives to break that Killjoy turret towards Boiler. This time it's a different hold here. Celestial with the operator in hand on that Reyna and Hecker to help follow things up. Right now, this is a really nice setup here by ILH, I have to say. Really supportive positioning by Hecker there. And the presence towards mid becomes known. Mekaroot is the second part of the equation here, but Tremgers has already worked his way up. He seems to be playing chess this round, while ILH are playing checkers. And there it is, gets the pick on the Kardastan. Wasn't quite expected, even though he turned his eyes that way. Gunfight does not go his way. Tremgers looking to continue to aggress into this. Gonna have to be careful and worry about where that op is, though.
30 seconds left.
And there's no, I'm surprised there's no audible coming through for them to regroup towards A either. They know the KO's here, know that op is here, but Tremgers, he's just different.
Welcome to my world.
I mean, when it comes to holding down one position, Tremgers has just been so good at it.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining. The last player standing.
Well, Flash comes through. Celestial recovering the Vandal, though. Gonna look to go into the clutch situation here. Low HP due to the Viper's pit. Sees the gun barrel, and there it is. The clutch comes right on through. He's got time to defuse and grab that operator, too. ILH, very close, but making good work of it.
And that is such a round to lose here from Operatives, investing that Viper's pick. It was definitely a really good investment that, once again, cut it so close. However, it is such a big ult for this map. And it just makes such a big difference. Like, this losing the round has to hurt a lot for them. Especially considering that the Rico has not been on that good for the past few rounds. It's already starting to look a bit rough, so this is a very important round for them. It's a round they need to win.
Full setup here on the A site from the Killjoy on the side of ILH. We've also got Kardastan here. You see them Operatives doing the same A approach that they've done several times this game so far. Tremgers activating into the lurk here, not overcommitting to the angle, and so the operator not able to spot him out. But Kardastan, here's that footstep. Looking to get into the angle, very dangerous here. Gets the first, but Penguin trading him out. Ready for that gunfight there. It's a really good trade from him, but Jadico, the only one left to fend things off, and Penguin does go down. And the Molotovs are doing so much damage. Leaves Mekaroot by his lonesome to handle the round. 1v3. Lear comes through, and the shots are a bit labored from Hecker, but at the end of the day, takes down Mekaroot, and there's a 6th round for ILH.
And I was just about to say how good that position Tremors was going in was, yet Heka was so aware of it. Like the entire team was pushing towards A. It looks like all the aggression was there. And we had only seen Tremors at the beginning of the round go towards that leg position, yet Heka was still paying attention to that entrance of Tube and ended up getting that pick at the end that could at least have costed them a few guns.
Yeah.
Revealing area.
I love how dynamic they're playing this defense as well. Setup is at a different spot every time. And it just keeps
Absolutely,
that
they
question
have-
mark.
Exactly. They've done something different every single time, from setting up more traps to playing, to just running down something and playing very aggressively, to then going for more of a default approach. It's just, like you said, different every single round. It makes it so hard to predict and play
Yep.
around.
Placing swarm grenade.
Wingman gonna be able to get the spike down this time. Timely actually completely defending the plant there. And all bodies dropping all of a sudden for ILH, leaving Celestial the only one left to do the damage here. With the operator in hand.
Poison's off.
Presumably going for the save. Yep. Oof.
It's able to get that pick though, and does no drop that up.
It hurts.
That was so close. I mean, at the end he was just jumping, trying to dodge a few bullets, but he did manage to get that one pick.
There.
Turret out.
This round, operator posted up towards A here. Recon gonna get broken. It's a reapproach over here towards B. Looks like they're starting to understand the pattern
Out of my way.
at which they like to change this defensive setup. So operatives, a bit of a read over here towards B. And you see Hecker moving up pretty quickly to stop that lurk pretty early. And this is where both teams are starting to have really educated reads towards each other. Jadico, the only one left here to fend things off. Not able to get the job done, but retake gonna start coming through, and Penguin's looking to be the difference maker. But again, just like last time, the knives go away because of that KO. Does have the classic in hand to try to do the damage, not able to do it. And that lockdown is making things a lot more difficult into this as well.
Nowhere to run.
Hunter's Fury takes him off the defuse for the time being. Timely looking for it, but it still comes through, and NB1 is way too disconnected here off the back of the Hunter's Fury to do anything. And ILH with the defuse.
And at that point, that retake situation, there's just no stopping that. Coming in with that lockdown and that no command, there's just nothing to do. They're both locked so far back into B main. Even with their Hunter's Fury coming through, they just get to cut the round a bit closer than what it originally was, but there's just not much more to be done.
Track them down.
A similar position as we've had before. Celestial with the operator. Gonna get taken down this time. Not the opening situation you want if you're ILH. And the mid crunch completely comes through. I mean, operatives have such a good read on this round right now.
Spike planted.
And already Mekaru inserted into this deep lurk position as well. Looking for it, but Hecker really wise to the occasion there. Penguin's pretty far deep inserted here as well. He's only 10 HP, but I mean, this is never a position you expect, but Hecker, I mean, they're playing this really systematically so far. Might be a retake that's doable.
Last player standing.
Never mind. There's the operator recovered by Tremgers, but Hecker with 3 on the round. Gonna go ahead for the tap one of the spike, force out the op shots again, but the chances are so slim into this one. Even the mosh pit to confirm it. He's gonna have to save the weapon.
One enemy remaining.
4 kills.
I mean, that is pretty much as good as it gets. That situation. That was a rather hard to win round, and getting this many picks definitely helps, especially considering that both Team Seekers have not looked the best, as they have traded a few rounds these past 2 ones. Definitely a nice approach. The thing is though, which I've seen quite a bit from OPRITIVZ, they try to play these off angles, like the one you mentioned from Penguin, which is a really good one, but the problem being, with how much they've done this, it looks like there's some people like Hecker who are just so well aware of it and they're paying so much attention.
Yeah. Ooh. Ahead of the Viper's pit there. Kardastan gonna get punished by Penguin though. It's one of his own in the meanwhile. Aldrone to come through, sniff out where that Viper's playing. And now that you don't have that Aldrone, you want to be careful with this, but look at where Celestial is again.
You should run.
All the way pushed up here. Lockdown to come through. This is going to have to force Jadico off. They don't have to go for those picks before they get off the site here, but might be able to get right back into it. There it is. There's one.
Down A.
But not able to get another. NB1 taking down Jadico, and the Viper's pit is out of the equation. Flashed right into the angle. Looks like they wanted to go for a flood this round, but it's so awkward from them. The timing, not indicative of what we're used to seeing from ILH on these retakes. And Celestial far disconnected from this, but now is in the mix. Does get the first one. Forces it down to a 1v1, but Penguin at the advantage here. Able to reposition, and it's Celestial that's going to have to go for the defuse. Penguin playing it nice and slowly. Ooh, Barrel gets spotted out. There it is. And the clutch for Celestial there. And that's an 8th round on the board for ILH.
And once again, such a big round to win here for ILH. I mean, this was such a good half coming in from their side. They played this so well. And like we said before, they continued to actually do something very different every single round. I believe the only thing that actually stayed consistent was something you brought up almost every time, which was Celestial pushing out the main almost every time they didn't go there to get that information and get that part of the map as theirs.
Down here.
Yeah, it's exceptional work.
Absolutely, they have looked so good so far on that defense side, which also is really intriguing considering this is a team that, as we said before, we expected to do better on the attack half.
Moving into the pistol here. We're going to get a look at how aggressive this comp can actually be. Going to get to limit test things here. And Mekaru, the only one here for the defense on the B site, but see that rotation coming out from Tremgers, and I mean, if it's a site I'm hitting, I don't want this guy at it, but he's here. Full scaling comes right on through. Look at how much control they're taking of this site. And I mean, this is so good to do too. You've got that Neon who can reposition quickly. You've got that Reyna who can dismiss out, especially with that speed buff. So they get that back site control, and there it is. There's the plant, but retake coming in pretty quickly here. Tremgers a little bit ahead of the punch there. Not able to land the shots here, but the wingman's on the defuse. Wait a minute. The picks come through, and that's it. OPRITIVZ have completely converted that round unexpectedly.
And that's such an impressive retake. I mean, it all came down to those positions and the way they flooded there, which was so good. Like, as you said, such an unexpected round here. It looked like the round was almost done. And then they just could somehow manage to convert this. again, we have here ILH on another save round, which intrigues me to see what they decide to do. Because we've seen something very unexpected every time, and it looks like there's a mid push.
And I'm not sure they're aware, but they've completely cornered themselves with this one too. No contingency plan can really come into place. I mean, just all of operatives surrounding them. Jadico, nothing left in store. Flawless from operatives there.
And the best case scenario for them for a save round, I mean, they just convert this round is so convertible into a bonus, considering they have 3 Bulldogs, an Outlaw, and a Spectre. I mean, that's as good as it gets for a bonus. ILH had a decent idea in mind going for the mid push, especially for a save round one. However, they got completely shut down after they got pinched and wrapped from operatives going through their spawn.
Scanning ahead.
Oh, nice dink there on the Cardi stand by NB1. Celestial already got that first blood though, so looking to regroup things over here towards the A site. Right now, only 2 here left to defend this, but I mean, the job is on them right now this round, as it's only a 3v5. Gonna push right there through the toxic screen, and all the bodies drop at once. Mekaru, the only one left to do the damage here.
Spike planted.
I mean, this is exactly what you said before as well. We had that lurk from Casby that got that pick, that as well as that early pick from Celestial, left operatives in such a bad position that they just didn't expect. I mean, the pick was all the way in kitchen from the entrance of tube. Like Casby was just so ready for that position.
Targets destroyed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's gonna leave a mark. Mekaru, oh! Not able to save the Bulldog there. Was gonna try to grab the Vandal, but Casby gonna take him down in the process. 9-6 here for ILH.
That one pick, like you said, is definitely gonna leave a mark on Celestial. However, that is still a rather good round for them, considering they got 3 people still alive and they do have Reyna. So Celestial does not necessarily need to play for this full shields.
A nice quiet approach here. Once again over towards that A site. You can see the positioning, the way they're playing on the site. They know where that knife comes every single time. So they play the other side of that site so they don't get that info. And NB1 able to take a kill off that positioning as well. Penguin following up over towards the B site. Dealing with that lurk very early into the round. Going right over the rope. Jadico able to get the trade, but it's an awkward affair. And there's a trade you need to come right back into this one. Timely. The only one left. Going to give the information that both are there. Spike's going to go down for the plant. Ooh. That is a shot from Timely. Oh my goodness. All right. Flash comes through, but yeah. Okay.
Rash is ready. Is it off? It's off.
I mean, again, coming in from operatives, this is also such a good way to approach playing this map. I mean, they had that B-main aggression with 2 people here, putting it together, then Penguin slowly going, and not just immediately going for the flank, but slowly approaching garage, knowing that there is a chance that someone was there, and in this case, it actually was Casby playing there, that ended up being one of the first picks into the round. Liking this map is something that has to give off some value, and it looks like while last round, for example, did give them some value, they're not getting quite what they are going for.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Celestial with that opening blood. And they're just regrouping into it. Love this tempo from ILH. Just pulling the rotations here, going for that pick, turning right around and trying to re-clear space. Empress popped, and it's actually Reyna going to be the one lurking here while the hit comes over towards A. Null command popped. Tremgers in a bit more of an awkward situation here, but NB1 takes down that null command, and he's continuing to do the work. I mean, he's just completely defended this site so far, runs out of bullets, but he's done his job and then some. Gonna go for the reload. Wait, Jadico passed him. What is happening here? Goes for the re-peek, and as the kills come everywhere else on the map, he just gets completely cornered. And ILH run away with that round.
I mean, right there, exactly as you pointed out, that lurk coming from Celestial is so unexpected. I mean, seeing that Empress pop, you'd usually expect the Reyna to play with the team. So when you see that null command, you expect it to be right up there. Someone who can get value into taking space with, especially while using an ultimate like the Empress. And instead, it takes the most passive approach possible that end up getting Joel 3 picks into the round.
Penguin getting punished out by that early peek over towards pipes. Celestial looking to follow up here, but once again, Operit is forced on their back foot. We talked about it in the pregame too, Nick. This comp is very aggressive, and they've been approaching that aggression so well this game.
That's exactly what we've seen most of the time.
Looks like Timely's gonna use a Thrash here. Yeah, Thrash comes through. Mekaru taking down Casby here. Hecker playing towards back sight. Mekaru's done a lot of damage already this round, but NB1, aware there's one right under him, does take him down. Celestial left in a 1v2 clutch. Hunter's Fury on the flip end. Looks for the first, but can't get it. NB1 with the trade. And there it is, the defuse to come through in an 8th round for Operatives here. This is close.
Absolutely, and those investments in the results, those were so good coming from both sides. That Viper split that actually gave ILH a very good chance to win this round, and then that Thrash that was rather unexpected as the round looked like it was very much leaning towards ILH's side. That actually ended up getting them some very big information there with that KO playing below Rafters.
Here.
Penguin once again playing towards yellow here. 0 point, gonna catch him out, but Mekaru looking to help. Now, last time this happened, they got completely crunched in this position. I mean, because again, look at how deep they are already from ILH. Not even full 30 seconds into the round, and they're already through kitchen. But look at how aware Mekaru is of this.
Absolutely, but then look at also the ones we made that are so ready to just flood onto yellow where Penguin is.
Spike down B.
Spike here.
Takes down the first, but can he handle the heat as continues to get hotter in the kitchen? Cardi stand. Gonna go ahead and pop the overdrive there. Gets the first 2, but I mean,
Last player
this is a round that looks really unlikely. NB1 taking down Celestial. Completely out of the equation.
Gotta go.
It'd be impressive if it happened, but I mean, Viper's Pit, Hunter's
left.
Fury in hand. 2v1. Only 47 HP, and there it is. Mekaru gonna confirm things in that round. 9th on the board for Operatives, and this is starting to look the way that Sunset did.
Absolutely, I mean, Operatives are looking so close. And once again, this round we very heavily saw something we talked about a lot on Sunset, which is the discipline coming in from Operatives. I mean, we had that neon being revealed by that drone, and Macro had such a good angle on that, and instead did not even want to take that risk with even that tiny chance to lose. They decided to just play it safe and push together to get that guaranteed win into the round.
Yep. And already that Blade Storm invested by Penguin. But the hit over here towards A. Dizzy didn't get that early information, so nothing quite confirmed as of yet, but pretty soon with that recon it will be. There it is. Spots at least 3, and you hear the gunshots as well. And even the lockdown to further confirm things. Hunter's Fury not going to be expended for this one. Nobody's here from Operatives, so can't really get ready for that flood too soon. They'll let the lockdown go right on through. He's actually going to use it for the plant here. 80 tagged onto Jadico, but the dance is done well around the spike. And that plant comes through. They're looking to continue to stack towards that Viper's Pit in Jadico as they get deeper and deeper into this game right now. But retake commenced, coming out. But right now, Kardistan starting things off really nicely here. And once again, Operatives on their back foot. Penguin left to 46 HP with the Blade Storm in hand. And NB1 even taken down. No assistance coming into this. Celestial wrapping backside. That's 11 for ILH.
And once again, we see this very aggressive playstyle coming from ILH, playing a little passively as the retake begins from Operatives, and then immediately exploding on them with that neon, getting 3 picks and completely shutting down that retake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something we've already seen so many times coming from different players almost every time.
Revealing
Oof. Awkward fight there by Operatives. I mean, they're able to recover 2 kills, though. Tremger's the only one left on the site here. Guardian in hand. See how aggressive they wanted to get there, but I mean, ILH 5-stack almost every time, if not 4, when they come towards this A site, Nick. And that's something that they didn't quite have a read on the side of Operatives. Tremger's left in a precarious position there, but Jadico going to finish things off. That's 12 on the board for ILH.
Match point.
As you said, I mean, that's been working for them. ILH has pushed at least as 4. The only exception where they didn't have 5 going towards site was those few legs coming in from Casby. That as they haven't paid off as much as they wanted them to for the most part, it looks like they're just going together now. This round looks like they're doing something different, sending Jadico on that lurk instead. Though, so far, I'm honestly impressed by how they've managed to make this work out so well for them.
And Penguin's deeply inserted here with the operator. Full hit coming here once again. And ILH love this A site, but it's a passive approach still from the side of Operatives. They don't have to bite off more than they can chew for this one. Op shot, gonna get missed on the Kardistan there. Able to reposition towards backside off that too. And takes down Timely as a consolation as well. Flash to come right into the angle, and right now this lurk from NB1 looks good, but they're so aware of it. Looks for it, and there it is. Able to take one down. He's a thorn in the backside right now. Mekaru able to follow things up, but Kardistan has gotten in the perfect position. ILH looking to take this one away right now. NB1 able to get the shot, and that's a defuse to come right on through, and Operatives live another round here on Icebox.
And he would have the close rounds we have mentioned so many times so far. Once again, I mean, they were both aware, so aware of like what she was doing. Yet it just came down to those like to that reaction time at the end, and NB1 being aware of Kardistan playing in that position in Nest.
I mean, if Operatives take this next round, we're definitely looking at a potential overtime. NB1. Posted up here on the top box, but he brings out the recon at the wrong time. Getting completely caught out there. And that's a free A site for ILH once again. They've come here so many times. And if there's any retake to do well, I mean, it's this one. Operatives really going to need this here. Penguin getting aggressive with the operator, knows to make this space off the back of the lockdown. And it comes through. And there it is. Null command popped. No other abilities left in store for Operatives off that null command, but the operator not able to find one and only left down to 25 HP. Gets the first pick, not the second. And ILH take us to a map 3.
And such a good response here from ILH to that lockdown, immediately falling back towards main and counter-ulting with that null command, completely shutting down that plan Operatives had to retake, starting with a wingman hopping on spike to at least get that half.
Yeah. I mean, just exceptional work there from ILH and a good response from that first map as well. I mean, it was such a close scoreline, 15-13. And here we go, back-to-back, 13-10, back-to-back really close scorelines in this series so far. And it kind of tells the tale of both of these teams, right? Before the series started, we talked about how they went up against each other in Cup 1 and that they've met each other in the last chance qualifier, right? And so that wasn't a very close scoreline when we saw them go up against each other before. Operatives completely dominated ILH that first time around. And again, it's a very similar roster here, but they found a response on this map here, Nick. And I mean, I'm thinking about going to Ascent because I'm trying to think we're definitely going to have 2 jets there. I mean, I know we saw something crazy here on Icebox, but I do expect to see the jet picks coming out. I don't know if that's going to be Celestial or Cardi stand for the side of ILH, probably Celestial. But on the side of Operatives, that's where the question marks are in my head. What are those roles going to be and how strong are those going to be?
I definitely do that. I do believe that on Ascent, we're going to see the standard comps. Maybe with the change between the Killjoy or Cypher on that Sentinel role, but I do not believe that either of the teams are going to go too far out of what is standard, especially for a map like that. So again, on OPRITIVZ side, like you said, while a part of me is expecting to see Penguin on that Duelist again, as he is also subbing into a Domain, someone who did play Duelist for OPRITIVZ, I'm definitely also curious on what is going to happen there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a lot of question marks around how Operatives are going to come back into the series. But folks, we don't want to keep you waiting too much longer. We're going to come back with Ascent after this 5-minute intermission. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of VLE Challengers, we want to apologize because it looks like this series is not going to be able to get finished here as Operatives were not able to field 5 players for that last match here, so Ascent is going to be defaulted towards ILH. But on the bright side, on the side of ILH, I pulled in the emergency sub here, or actually not emergency sub, they're on the roster. It's Celestial. How we doing today?
Hi. Hello.
It's really good to hear from you because I remember you played on Rendezvous last season in Cup 1. You also played the duelist role and sometimes the controller as well on Icebox. I think I remember you played that Viper, but today you were on Reyna. So I guess I just wanted to bring you on and pick your brain apart a little bit about what it was like to sub in. What was it like?
Well, first I met ILH. They were very fun. Subbing in with this was actually very fun because the people I played around was very fun to play with. I played with Walmart Bag. He was very good with just enabling me. It was so fun. But Reyna on Icebox, they just gave me the option. I was like, they said Reyna or ISO. I was like, ooh, I could play Reyna and just show everyone how good I am. So I picked Reyna and played the game.
Love that. And now that comp, it was very intriguing for Nick and I here on the caster's booth because we were like, whoa, solo KO, and then we got the Neon Reyna, which is that's a duelist combo I've never seen on this map. Is this a decision you guys made an agent select, or is this something they already had prepared, or you can't say?
I can say this is something that was kind of just made up not really on the spot, but something just we thought of that we think would work with how we played.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that the aggressive style from ILH, it's very enabled by comps like this, right? Especially the way you guys played Sunset too. I mean, it was such a fun map to watch. The way that you and Cardi Stan were just running everywhere on that Breach Neon duo. And so seeing y'all on that Neon Reyna duo here on Icebox was a lot of fun. Now, I want to talk about your opponents here in Operatives, and they've shown some really good progression just in Cup 1 alone, taking down ILH, and it was a lot harder for them to do that here in this series. And Operatives, you know, they had more answers than they saw before, but ILH have shown a lot of improvement, right? Especially against this roster alone. Operatives, not that different of a roster, so speak to me a bit about the confidence coming into this. Did you feel nervous, or did you feel like you really had this in the bag?
I would say I felt nervous first 3 rounds on Sunset, but afterwards, I think it was pretty fun. I figured out that I knew I was playing Operatives. I know like some people on Operatives is very fun to play against them, and obviously I played against 2 of my friends on Sunset and Icebox, so I tried my best to win, obviously. But yeah, I think after 3 rounds I wasn't nervous, so I think it was pretty fun.
Nice. And I want to go back to map 1 real quick because that's where we got to see you on that Neon. We all love to see you on Neon here in the community, as always. Talk to me a bit about the changes because Cypher is not as prominent on that B site as he was before. And it's not just the Unbreakable trip, it's just his presence alone. I noticed that Operatives very heavily reacted to those B site changes and played him towards that A site most of the time in the series. And so I want to get your insight as to what it was like on that Neon entering onto that B site. Did it feel weird with the changes, or did it feel pretty normal?
Definitely felt way weirder at first because of the many more angles that I have to clear with my slide. He was putting once he was on B, he was putting trip on stairs. Had to work around all of that, plus all of the miss flashes that I got flashed by and all the other stuff. But yeah. After a while, it's very adapting. I feel like Raze will be a bit better than Neon now, just by the nade alone, just clearing out angles. But yeah, Neon is definitely still an option for sure. You just have to get the util to play around it.
Yep.
I do actually have a question as well for this. This is something a bit that was for both maps. Look, going into Sunset at the beginning, it definitely seemed like this was a map that Operatives had practiced quite a bit. This was, after all, the map pick. Going into the second half where you guys played attack, you started playing like as a whole and you individually. You started seeming like you were actually in your territory, playing really well, playing really aggressively. And I believe you also got most of your kills on that attack half for that game. Going into Icebox, however, you actually started seeming really strong on that defense half where you had a big mix of playing like really aggressive and then mixing it with playing with more traps and playing back. Is it something that like you guys just had as in like practiced for Icebox, or is it just something you adapted to because you saw it worked against operatives?
I would say for Icebox, there was a couple of things that we tried. I was definitely trying my best to like just teach them how to push with the comp that we had, especially on A side where like I would tell Neon to jump on rope, jump left side, I would flash through nest, and he would get the kill. Like stuff like that, I was just brainstorming in my brain to try to think of to help him get the kill or just get the pick and back off.
Yeah, because I have to say that was honestly really impressive to watch. I'm pretty sure we mentioned it multiple times with Robbie while casting the fact that you guys on A did something different every single round on defense. Like there was some different position. Like the only thing that across the half stayed consistent was you pushing out B main and getting that space almost every time operatives didn't push towards B.
Yep.
So to hear that really was improvised is actually really impressive.
Yeah, that's the kind of synergy you don't like always expect to see out of like a team when they're playing for the first time together. Because I believe this is your first series with the team, right? In the matches.
In the matches, yes, we played like maybe 2 scrims, but this is my first time ever playing with Walmart Bag.
Mm-hmm.
And it
must be
so
really good
fun.
to play alongside him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
That's awesome.
I think it's actually had good synergy there.
Yeah, you did. I wanted to talk about that too, because synergy is one of the biggest things that we talk about here in the caster's booth when it comes to how initiators play with their duelists. And honestly, looking at how you and Walmart Bag played off of each other and honestly traded each other off most of the rounds when we saw in Sunset, and especially here on Icebox with both of you on duelist, is that something that fell into place naturally and like very quickly, or did it take you guys time during those scrims that you played?
I think I can say this now. The scrims, I did not play with Walmart Bag didn't play in the scrims. I don't think he could make them. So
okay.
This is actually like my first ever match with like Walmart Bag entirely.
Wow.
So
well, that makes that even more impressive. Really good work from y'all. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Nick, do you have any other questions?
I think that was about it. I was just curious on how you had like such a big like switch up on your look when you came into Icebox, and I mean you just made that map look like it was your territory on both halves.
Yep. Yeah, it was really good stuff right there. Well, thank you so much, Celestial, for joining us here in this post-match interview. And anything you want to say to aspiring duelists out there?
Don't play Raze on Abyss. It's bad. Also, don't play Neon on Bind, please. I beg.
That is so true. I think we've seen Neon a few times on Bind, but it's not a very popular pick. Those are some good suggestions there. Well, folks, you heard it here first. If you're an aspiring duelist, you heard it from Celestial. No Raze on Abyss and no Neon on Bind. We want to thank y'all so much from VLE Challengers to you for joining us here on day number 8. But we've got a matchup later at 9 p.m. EST, I believe. Yes, 9 p.m. EST. It's going to be EXL Alter Ego versus Equinox. And we'll see you then.